Thank you very much for joining us yet again on another edition of the program. Let's start with Seychelles, where it is officially national mourning today as former President France Albert Rene receives a state funeral. Rene, Seychelles' longest-serving president, who led the island nation for more than a quarter of a century during a one-party rule, died at the Seychelles hospital last week at the age of 83. He had held office from 1977 when he took power in a coup d'etat that ousted James Macham. The former president's legacy will likely remain complicated, even controversial. He is remembered as a powerful leader with a strong vision for Seychelles that included free education and health care, but also for leading a government responsible for unsolved deaths and disappearances of its citizens until 2004, when he retired from office.
Yassine Mwabouth is our correspondent and is standing by to give us some update. How are you? Right, Yassine, how is the funeral of the former president of Seychelles going?
I
must tell you that emotions are at its peak in Mahe, I should say. This Thursday was declared a National Day of Mourning and a public holiday by the President of the Republic, Danny IV. Since 7:30 a.m., the remains of President France Albert Rene has been on display at the State House, the office of the President of the Republic. His family and some special guests, including ministers and members of the diplomatic corps, paid tribute to him. In less than half an hour, President Rene's funeral procession will be held in Victoria so that members of the public can pay their respects. This will begin at around 1:30 p.m. There will also be an interfaith service at the same location. Then, at about 4 p.m., we head to the cemetery of Mount Fleury for burial. France Albert Rene will be buried by his mother's grave. We need to know this, that it was France Albert Rene's wish to be buried in a public cemetery when he could have been buried in the cemetery of the presidency, alongside James Macham, the first president.
Yassine, what do you think about the former president? Do the people of Seychelles like him so much? What impression do they have of their former long-time leader?
I must tell you that there was a great solidarity and union between France Albert Rene and the people of Seychelles. This agreement was not built in a day because, as you can see, France Albert Rene headed Seychelles for 27 years, from 1977 to 2004. But I must tell you, he was worshipped by some and hated by others. As a result, the legacy of the former president will probably remain complex and even controversial. He's remembered as a powerful leader with a strong vision for Seychelles, which included free education and health care. But according to his critics, the deaths and disappearances of many people in Seychelles during his reign remain unanswered. But France Albert Rene was a beloved man outside the Seychelles, whether on the island of the Indian Ocean or even in Europe. Through a statement of IOC, France Albert Rene is described as an ardent defender of the regional cause and a political leader whose influence has spread far beyond the borders of his country and the Indian Ocean.
Dont le rayonnement a largement dépassé les frontières de son pays et de l'Indienne Océanie.
Can you tell us more about his political career?
De 1977 à 2004, est-ce qu'on peut en savoir un petit peu plus sur son parcours politique?
Bien sûr, après ses études de droit au St. Mary's College en Angleterre, il est revenu.
After his law studies at St. Mary's College in England, he returned to Seychelles to work as a lawyer in 1957. Disappointed with the social policies of British colonialism in 1964, Mr. Rene formed the United People's Party of Seychelles. Elected to the Legislative Council of Praslin and Leduc, his crusade for independence was rewarded in 1975 when he traveled to London to participate in the Constitutional Conference as leader of the opposition. On 29 June 1976, Seychelles became independent And France Albert Rene was appointed Prime Minister of President James Mancham, his political rival.
Après un coup d'État le 5 juin 1977,
After a coup d'etat on 5th June 1977, Mr. Rene took up as President of the Republic of Seychelles. He was a true patriot who cared about his country and his people, said President Danifort, describing him as an architect of modern Seychelles. He also commended his struggle for the independence of the country and the transformation of Seychelles. In 2004, he resigned as President of the Republic, giving way to James Michel, his Vice President. Well, thank you very much for your time this morning and for the update you have given us. That was Yassine Mohaboud.
Au revoir.